Greetings, adventurers! Welcome back to Here Be Dragons. I am Effigy Dragon, and if you've returned from our first video, I spent a couple hours off camera finding some cows, bringing them back over to this pen, and then breeding said cows over and over again. I need the leather. Then I'm going to be putting together a couple items before leaving this little village. First off, I'll be looking to get a backpack here shortly. I'm now looking for the cows and breeding them. I got a little bit bored and ended up doing some extra farming. I found some Fluffy Puff seeds and have added those and filled in some of the larger glaring holes in this village's landscape. I've planted sugarcane all over the place. So I'm looking, of course, for those books, and apparently we've picked up a zombie somewhere. Possibly a drowned? It's probably in one of the holes that's been covered up. Went ahead and smelted up a bunch of the ores that I picked up while scavenging for a couple additional resources, and we probably will be going ahead and putting together that backpack, put together a couple additional books, and possibly heading out looking for something a little more substantial to start a base here. So one of the first things we are going to be doing is putting together that backpack, so we have a little bit more storage room for our trek out of here. And while running around, I found some Lauren, which is from the Abyss mod, and we are going to go ahead and put together the book that can be constructed from this. I'm going to need some gold nuggets. Actually, I don't think any gold. Well, so we'll forego that for now. But now that I have my backpack, I'll go ahead and put that on. I can open that up and have a little bit of additional storage here. One of the main reasons I picked up some flowers is I'm going to be opening up this this blueprint packet, and I'm going to need a way to put those back together, and that'll be a blueprint book. The reason I'm opening this up is so I have the blueprints to put together some of these materials and equipment. Kicking that poor guy out of his bed, but I'm not going to be in this town for too much longer, so hopefully they'll forgive me for that. The first thing I'm going to need to do is I need to get this knife blueprint, because I'm going to need that in order to shear some of these logs to put together the blueprint book for this. Now, the nice thing about these blueprints is they are completely reusable. Another reason I'm going to want some paper is to create more blueprints. First thing I need is a tool rod. Actually, get 2 rough rods out of there. And this knife is going to take one of these and one of these ingots. I've got a lot of iron, so I'm going to go ahead and make that an iron knife. I got a lot of different stats. Each one of those materials gives it something new for the traits. But now I have a crude but effective knife. I'm going to be using that to strip these logs into template boards. at those template boards, I'm going to be able to put together a blueprint book to store all my blueprints together, and that is going to require golden. Looks like I'm going to be doing a little bit of mining before I can actually put that blueprint book together. In which case, I'll go ahead and move these out of the way here for now. Let's put together a pickaxe. And we can actually mix and match these materials, and we can see what each one of these gives us as a durability. And if I'm looking to do a pickaxe, we're looking at that harvest speed. So platinum will give us obsidian, tin will give us iron, and iron will give us up to diamond. So iron gives us a high speed, tin gives us fairly decent speed, platinum gives us amazing speed. But platinum is malleable and soft, which means it will take less damage sometimes, but the harvest speed will reduce as it gets worn out. So if we take a look at some of the other materials that we've managed to pick up, aquamarine will give us a decent harvest speed, but it is also brittle, which will actually counteract some of the malleable, but not the soft. Onyx will give us brittle, eroded, and chaotic. Eroded increases speed as damage, so that might actually be a good one to use for this. Take our blueprint, take our stick. We want this to be probably a platinum one because of the high durability. So if we use platinum and an onyx, it's going to make us a crude platinum pickaxe. Sometimes takes less damage. We lose some synergy, which means some of the abilities will get reduced, but we still end up with a decent harvest speed and harvest level. And I think will do us pretty good. It's too bad we don't have a whole bunch more of that onyx, but because it is platinum, we should be able to repair it pretty easily. And we want a repair kit, which would be these template boards, an iron ingot, and a stick for a crude repair kit, which will help materials. And a sturdy repair kit would be a diamond, so we're not going to be able to go that far. So let's go ahead and grab these guys again. We're going to go ahead for that crude repair kit. And here is where we're going to end up putting some of those platinum ingots to fill that repair kit up. And that will allow us to repair our pickaxe while in the dungeon. Leather we'll hold on to for putting together some more books. And my inventory management right now is absolutely atrocious. I certainly can see that now. Things are kind of tossed everywhere. Iron, tin, I got lots of iron, so I actually want to look at if I were to make platinum. I don't have the blueprints in order to do Silent Gears equipment, so we'll just keep going with that. We're just looking to do some mining. Let's get us some torches. So we need that gold. I did find a wavestone while I was hunting around for flowers for the blueprints, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put that in the middle of this town because I may be coming back here, if anything, to add villagers once I found a place. We're going to call this Spawn Town. And if we ever come across some more waystones, we can come back to here quickly. And the reason I was talking about possibly nabbing some of these villagers is I do have a mob capture mod in here, so I can snap them up and bring them with me, but not something I need to do quite at the moment. So let's go ahead and I want some of this meat. Lots of space now. I probably should grab myself a weapon. And we do have spear blueprints, axe blueprints, shield blueprints, stabbing stick. Might be just looking to use an axe as we go delving. So let's go ahead. I'll put together a couple items here and find a spot to go mining, and we'll come back. Well, as I jump back down into my little initial mining hole, look what I've come across. Got a little dungeon here. Was not expecting to see something like that so quick, so close. But that explains a lot of the zombie noises. Might be above me. Oh, or right there. Definitely glad I brought this axe. I actually ended up accidentally making myself an iron axe, so I put some iron and some platinum in the repair kit so that I can fix these guys up. What do we have here? Heart of Earth from Enigmatic Legacy, some topaz, some mana steel ingots. That is going to be not nearly as impressive as I thought it would, but for armor, good. I got some copper shears, ingots, quite a bit of pretty nice loot in this little classic dungeon. Oh, a name tag, some emeralds, some purifying powder from silent gems. Again, a lot of nice loot here. Now here's where backpack is definitely going to come in handy. Put some of these items that are not likely to reoccur while I'm dungeon delving. Or, not dungeon delving, but mining. So, zombie fire. Oop. Do not throw away your only weapon. So, they're still spawning out here. Let's go ahead and put a torch or two up to keep them from spawning. A lot of nice stuff here. Definitely unexpected. I thought I'd just go ahead and bring you in. Now that I'm doing a little bit of mining, we're still going to be looking for that gold. It may be a little while before I find that. We'll come back as soon as we get that, and then we're going to be looking to put together our getaway gear. Okay, as I'm delving into the earth looking for that gold ore, I managed to come across this absolutely massive lava lake cave. Some magma monsters chilling in the middle of it. This is just a little bit below the slime cave that I found during our first episode, and you can see all the way across the other side there's a crystal cave. Beautiful, beautiful terrain generation with the Unspetter caves. However, the search for gold continues. Okay, I've been wandering around and fallen down a couple of levels. I actually went all the way down to Y10 and picking up quite a few different ores, mithril and adamantine. But on my way back up, I managed to have come across some gold ore. Finally! So, we're going to go ahead and pick this up, and then, I believe, head our way back home. And avoid that explosive little guy over there. I am not geared up to take on a bunch of mobs all at once. So grab this gold, make our way back to the surface, and then gear up to find a good place to put together our starter home. See you in a little bit. Well, after digging ourselves, or climbing ourselves back out of our little mining hole over there, I ended up cutting down the majority of the sugar cane down to a single height, turned that all into paper. But this is a lot of the materials that we pulled out of the mining session. Got every single Silent Gear gem, and actually got a advancement for that. You can see I got chaos is acquired, green is good. I got a whole bunch of stuff for that. So we are looking to put together a couple of items. Obviously, first we need to get a couple books. Let's hold off on a little bit of that. There we go, 10 books. It still leaves us with over a stack of paper. Part of that, the whole reason for that, is we were looking to put together the blueprint book so we can hold all of our blueprints in a single one. So we're going to have to grab our gold ingot, which is what we did manage to pull. We need our wool block and our book. So it looks like we've got everything we need for that. Well, except for our template boards. In order to get a couple of those, we're going to grab one of these logs and carve that up. Template boards, there we go. Now, we're good to go. We have our blueprint book. And you can see with that, recycle with C and Z. But in order to cycle anything, we have to put our blueprints into it. Here is our blueprint storage. So now we can actually create the additional blueprints, and you notice there are quite a few of them. The ones that I was hoping to have was either a standard classic sword, a katana, or a machete to cut through. We also have prospector hammers, mattocks, rings. You can create an elytra, but in order to do so, you have to have an elytra to base that off of. We're not looking to use templates. We're probably going to go ahead and go with the blueprint themselves. In order to get those blueprints, we have to have blueprint paper. Blueprint paper is paper and blue dye. One of the reasons we got these flowers is for that blue dye. Let's go ahead and turn that into some blue dye. Go ahead and make some blueprint paper. So we add some additional blueprints. And then we're going to be gearing ourselves up for our trek out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and make our armor blueprints. I'm going to make a sword blueprint. And I'll get back to you in just a moment. And here we are. We've got all of our blueprints set up in our blueprint book. Nearly everything available. Just put together what I had need for and what I'm looking for possibly in the near future. This allowed me to craft a whole bunch of new equipment. I pretty much stuck with platinum materials, as I had a lot of that, and that also allows me to use a single repair kit with just platinum in it. This goes along with my platinum armor. You'll notice that this armor has a high armor value, and actually it does have some resistance on it as well. The gemstone I used in this construction, it gave me a little bit of resistance while I'm wearing the armor set. And then the shield I put together, I added a gem to give me a little bit of luck. So I'm pretty well armored up with 30 armor at this point. That's just so we can start heading out and see if we can find a good place to set down some roots and start investigating some of the other mod packs. Of course, we're also going to be looking for some of the land-based dragons from Wormroost, see if we can go ahead and tame them for our menagerie, but I'm still thinking we want to stay away from the ice and fire dragons, as they will pretty much pound us into the ground. So I've got a couple of items in our backpack that we're going to bring with us, mostly our books for Botania, Conde Codexicana from Mana and Artifice, our blueprints for when we need them later, as well as some name tags and leads that we ended up picking up from the Wandering Trader I took out earlier, as well as the items we found in that surprise dungeon. So we're just looking at a few items here, a few pieces of food for along the trip that I can eat to increase my health via the Slice of Life Carrot Edition. So we've got a couple of items here that we haven't eaten yet, as well as some stacks of the heartier foods I have available for once we've run out of our little snacks here. So, it looks like we are ready to head out from this village. And luckily, we do have this waystone, so we can come back for some of the materials that we left behind. So we still have quite a few gems, as well as ingots that we may want to grab hold of later. At this point, I think we're going to head out and see if we can find some place that looks good. Specifically, we're going to need to at least find one of the larger astral sorcery temples so we can start progressing down that path as well. Now we'll find those typically in higher altitudes, which we're not really in at the moment, being in these plains. So we are going to kind of head southeast at this point and see if we can find some items, some locations, and possibly someplace that looks good to put together a little base. Ooh, I just updated our health bar again, so now we're at 28 hearts. And we do max out at 40 once we've eaten enough unique items of food. Right now we're not quite at that point, but we'll continue to progress through that as we find new food items. Let's go ahead and see what we've got in here. A diamond. Always good. Glowstone dust. Ender pearl. The aquamarine will actually come in handy later. The rest of those items aren't nearly as important, but obviously always take the diamonds. We'll continue on, and I'll come back to you if we find something interesting here. Well, this is Future Effigy Dragon. I had a little bit of issue with my recording. I thought I turned it back on when I noticed in the distance this broken nether portal, this tower, this dungeon, and then this man and artifice building right next to it. 4 generated structures really close together. That was just a few moments after the small astral sorcerer temple. We actually had another one hiding back here as well. Unfortunately, you missed me climbing up the tower to get the stone so that we can use that later when we find a different location. I'm talking about the waystone, like the one we put in this little village that we left. When we find a location that we're going to come back to or go back and forth between, that's what we're going to end up using. So I grabbed that from the top of that tower. Those towers will always have a waystone at the top of them. But this building here looks like it's a mana and artifice structure of some sort, because the chest here had a bunch of mana and artifice items. I tossed a bunch of other things in here, as well as the lava bucket and blaze gold nugget that we found at the broken portal. So what we're looking to do in our next episode is do a little dungeon delving in this dungeon here, see if we can find any good loot before moving on. That's while we might be able to start working on our mana and artifice stuff here. It's really still not too far away from the village, and really not the location that I want to build my base. Still want to look for something a little bit more interesting, although Having a dark oak forest here might use that equipment that we're going to want in the future, or the materials we'll need for a building in the future. But so, I do apologize for not getting the recording of me climbing that very tall tower, but all it was is grabbing the waystone and a little bit of loot at the top. So we'll see you next episode when we do a little bit of dungeon delving.